Episode 12, YouTube and Beyond, where the screens connect.
It started with a comment. A simple, cool video, you're really talented. You smile, you reply, nothing seems off.
Then another comment appears, friendly, casual. Hey, I love your other videos. Want to chat more? At first, it feels normal. Fun, exciting, someone noticing your work.
But the conversation doesn't stay on YouTube for long. A link to Discord, an invite to a fan server, then a TikTok follow, an Instagram DM, and suddenly, the boundaries blur.
Your Roblox friends are now your Discord friends. Your TikTok followers now know what you post on YouTube. The game, the videos, the streams, they all follow you. It doesn't feel like danger, it feels like connection, belonging, and popularity.
That's exactly what predators rely on. They don't appear scary or obvious at first. They follow the platforms, the trends, and the content you already love. And because of all feels normal, you don't notice how much control they're gaining.
This episode, we're diving deep into YouTube, how it connects to TikTok, Instagram, Discord, and even Roblox. Everything and everywhere all at once. We'll uncover how a simple comment can lead to a network of private channels, secret messages, and manipulative interactions. And most importantly, how to recognize them before it's too late.
From the comments to DMs, from streams to fan servers, predators don't just stay in one place. They move where you are, following the screens you trust.
We'll explore the patterns, the tactics, and the warning signs, and we'll give you tools to stay safe, because knowledge is power.
So, if you ever thought a comment was harmless, think again. The journey from YouTube to other platforms can start with a single interaction.
Wait, but it's not about being scared of the internet. It's about understanding the connection, the way your online life can stretch across platforms, and how predators exploit that.
From YVR Canada, this is Caught in the Web. I'm Reeti, and I'm joined by our incredible team.
Alina.
Sav, Nashi,
And Leo.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into episode 12, which focuses on YouTube, a platform most teens know, love, and use daily. But this episode isn't just about YouTube in isolation. YouTube connects teens to so many other spaces online. Discord servers for fan communities, Roblox worlds where players meet and chat, Snapchat private messaging, TikTok trends, Omegle chats, Twitch streams, Facebook groups, and even Valorant gaming communities. Predators often leverage these connections to move from one platform to another, creating networks that can be really hard to track.
Before we go any deeper, a trigger warning. This episode discusses grooming, manipulation, exploitation, sextortion, and emotional coercion. Some of the examples may be unsettling, and it's completely okay to take a pause. Step away or come back later. Your safety comes first.
Absolutely. And remember, you're never alone. Support is available 24/7 through Kids Help Phone, Cybertip.ca, needhelpnow.ca, and Victim Link BC. All services are free and confidential.
So in this episode, we'll cover several segments. Why YouTube matters, how teens interact on the platform, why predators target it, and how it connects to other apps. Number 2, how YouTube works, features like videos, live streaming comments, and messaging, and how these can be misused. Number 3, patterns of predation, grooming tactics, emotional manipulation, small asks, secrecy, and how predators move teens across platforms.
And number 4, the illusion of privacy. Why teens feel safe on YouTube, and how screenshot backups, cross-platform messaging make it risky. Number 5, the 5 W's of framework. Who is targeted? What happens? When it happens? Where it happens? And why predators do it. And number 6, what to do if it's happening. Actionable steps for teens to protect themselves.
Number 7, the law and your rights. Legal protections, reporting YouTube policies may help the user. And number 8, staying safe across platforms. Privacy settings, DM controls, content visibility, and cross-platform awareness. Number 9 is our closing reflection. Why awareness matters, how speaking up saves lives, and the importance of peer and adult support.
This episode is a roadmap. You'll hear not only about YouTube itself, but also how Roblox, Discord, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, Valorant, and Omegle tie in. Predators often don't stay on one platform. They follow teens where they go, exploiting features and connections that seem innocent.
And we will explain how grooming starts, what warning signs to look for, and how the lesson from past episodes like Roblox in episode 5, Snapchat in episode 6, and Twitch in episode 4 all connect here. It's about patterns, not paranoia.
And we'll provide practical advice, controlling access, spotting small asks, documenting suspicious behavior, knowing your rights, and seeking help. All of this is framed in a way that's actionable, safe, and realistic for teens navigating online spaces.
Finally, this episode hides the cross-platform connections that make online predation so dangerous. A predator might start with seemingly harmless YouTube comment, move to a Discord DM, and then try to continue the conversation on Roblox or on Snapchat. Understanding these pathways is critical for staying safe.
So, as we move forward, remember, this episode isn't about scaring you away from YouTube or any other platform. It's about understanding the risks, recognizing patterns, and equipping yourself with knowledge and resources. Alright, now that we have set the stage, let's dive into why YouTube matters and how it connects to all the other platforms teens are using online.
Why YouTube matters.
Now, let's talk about why YouTube matters and why it deserves its own episode. YouTube isn't just a video platform, it's a gateway. Teens watch videos, follow creators, comment, join live in chats, and engage in communities that can extend far beyond the platform itself. A comment section can lead to a private Discord server, a live stream can lead to DMs on Snapchat. Challenges and trends on TikTok can be discussed and replicated in YouTube. Comment threads. And all of this can be monitored or exploited by predators.
YouTube isn't just a place to watch videos. For teens, it's a hub for entertainment, learning, and community. And that's exactly why predators pay attention here. It's massive, visible, and yet can lead to private spaces where manipulation happens.
Think about it. A teen logs in to watch a Roblox tutorial or a Valorant gameplay highlight, and suddenly they're engaging with comments, live chats, and links to Discord servers. YouTube becomes more than a video platform. It's a gateway to multiple online spaces.
Exactly. Episode 5 on Roblox showed us how predators can infiltrate spaces that feel safe. YouTube connects to Roblox the same way a popular streamer posts a gameplay video. Teens watch and interact, and predators can follow that engagement into private servers, DMs, or even other apps like TikTok or Snapchat.
It's not just Roblox either. YouTube can link to Discord communities, Twitch live streams, TikTok trends, and even Valorant. Predators don't stay in one place. They follow the teen across platforms, moving from public video to private conversations seamlessly.
And the scale is enormous. YouTube has over 2.5 billion logged in monthly users worldwide. That's billions of interactions, billions of opportunities for connection, and unfortunately, billions of chances for predators to exploit that connection.
The tricky part is that YouTube's feels safe. Public videos, content moderation, and filters give parents and teens a false sense of security. But predators often shift interactions off platform to Discord, Snapchat, or even private Roblox servers.
Live streams are a big example. Teens participate, ask questions, and interact with the host. That can quickly move to private messages on Discord or DMs on TikTok. Episode 6 on Snapchat reminded us that private channels can amplify risk. YouTube acts as the initial public touchpoint.
Community and identity matter too. Teens join fandoms, subscribe to creators, and engage with peer groups. Predators exploit that sense of belonging, posing as peers or creators to gain trust and eventually move communication to private spaces.
And the recommendation algorithm plays a role. YouTube suggests videos based on watch history, which can create a chain. Roblox video goes to Discord server, to TikTok challenges, and to Valorant. Predators can follow the algorithmic path to reach teens across multiple platforms.
So, this episode isn't just about YouTube, it's about how it connects all the spaces teens interact with online. Roblox, Discord, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, Omegle, and even Facebook. YouTube has become the bridge and the starting point, and sometimes the bait.
Understanding this connection is key. the tactics of manipulation we discussed before. Small asks, isolation, urgency, secrecy, they don't change. They just move from platform to platform, often starting on YouTube.
For example, a teen comments on a Roblox highlight video on YouTube. A predator replies positively, then invites them to a private Discord server. That private interaction can escalate, just like we've seen in past episodes with Roblox or Snapchat.
YouTube is public and visible, which seems safer, but that visibility is deceptive. Predators can lure teens publicly, then move them into private, unmoderated spaces. It's the same pattern, just with more steps across platforms.
This is why awareness matters. Teens may think they're just watching a video, but predators are watching too, looking for opportunity, trust, and vulnerability.
And throughout this episode, we'll break down the patterns of predation on YouTube, the illusion of privacy, grooming tactics, and concrete steps to stay safe. And we'll show how YouTube links to other platforms, connecting all the lessons we've learned from Roblox, Discord, Snapchat, Twitch, Valorant, TikTok, Omegle, and Facebook.
So with that understanding, let's move on to the next segment. How YouTube works, and where we'll explore videos, live streams, comments, messagings, and cross-platform links, highlighting where predators start their approach.
How YouTube works.
Alright, so let's break down YouTube itself. On the surface, it seems simple. Videos, likes, and comments. But once you start peeling back the layers, especially when thinking about online predation, it's much more complex.
Right, there's videos themselves. Teens watch content on Roblox, Valorant, TikTok compilations, or fan edits. Predators often use the comment sections to identify active, engaged teens. Just replying to a comment can be the first step of grooming.
And then there are live streams. Live streaming adds immediacy. Teens can interact in real time with creators. This is a prime place for predators to slip in messages or links. They might appear as moderators, viewers, or even other teens, and often guide the conversation toward private spaces like Discord or TikTok DMs.
Don't forget comments. They're public, which seems safe, but predators look for subtle signs. Usernames that suggest age, mentions of school or city, or references to other platforms like Snapchat or Roblox. A simple, hey, cool vid can lead to DMs across multiple apps.
And there's subscription and notification. When a teen subscribes to a channel or hits the bell icon, predators can gauge activity. They see who's active, which videos are being watched, and when someone might be online. It's like a map of opportunity.
Then we have playlists and shared links. Teens often share favorite content on Discord servers, TikTok, or even Roblox group chats. Predators follow these links to move teens across platforms. Episode 5 on Roblox showed this clearly. A seemingly innocent gaming community can quickly become a private, controlled space.
Messaging features on Roblox are also critical. While the main app removed direct messaging, many teens still receive DM links through channel descriptions, pinned comments, or external links, often to Discord, Instagram, or even private Roblox servers. Predators guide teens off-platform to spaces they can control.
And let's talk about YouTube Shorts and recommendations. The algorithm keeps teens engaged, sharing similar content over and over. Predators can exploit this by creating or promoting content that attracts a teen's attention and draws them towards their own channel or external links.
Don't forget membership features. Some creators have exclusive content or community posts. These are often require external accounts, Discord servers, private social media, or Patreon pages. Predators can use these as a bridge to private interactions.
And finally, there are cross-platform connections. YouTube is rarely the only place a teen interacts. Links to Roblox servers, TikTok challenges, Snapchat streaks, Discord communities, Valorant clans, and all ties together. One interaction on YouTube can lead to multiple private spaces where manipulation can happen.
So, when we say YouTube isn't just YouTube, we mean it. A teen watching a Valorant highlight can end up in a Discord voice chat, a Snapchat group, a Roblox private server, and a TikTok DM chain. All because of the public engagement that started on YouTube
And that's exactly why we're connecting this to previous episodes. Roblox, episode 5, taught us about private gaming servers. Discord is episode 12's key companion platform. Snapchat, episode 6, and TikTok amplified the immediacy and secrecy. Every platform builds on the last, creating a web of potential risk.
It's a chain reaction. A comment leads to a DM leads to a Discord server. From Discord, someone might suggest a TikTok challenge or Roblox game. Each step feels fun and normal, but it's exactly where predators can exploit trust.
Understanding the platform mechanics, videos, live streams and comments, playlists, recommendations, and cross-platform links is critical. Predators don't need to scare a teen immediately. They manipulate the system, the algorithm, and the social behaviors that teens already follow.
And you know what? So the takeaway here, YouTube itself is just a starting point. It's the hub that connects to many other spaces teens engage with online. Awareness of this ecosystem is key to staying safe.
Next, we'll move to the illusion of privacy, how teens think they're safe on YouTube and connected apps, but predators can still access them through screenshots, saved chats, or cross-platform interactions.
The illusion of privacy.
Alright, let's talk about privacy, or at least the illusion of it. Teens often think, I'm safe, I'm just watching videos, leaving a comment, or chatting with friends on Discord servers. What could go wrong with it?
The reality is, even on YouTube alone, nothing is truly private. Comments, live chats, video replies, all of it leaves digital traces. Predators don't need to be invisible. They just exploit the gaps in perception.
Take screenshots. You might think a private chat or DM disappears after a few moments, but someone can screenshot it instantly or screen record a live stream, and suddenly what you thought was ephemeral is permanent and portable across platforms like Discord, TikTok, or even Snapchat.
Saved chats are another trick. Some teens use messaging apps linked to YouTube, like Discord, Instagram, or Roblox group chats. Even if a message is temporary in one app, it can be saved somewhere else. Predators rely on this build portfolios on targets, information about friends, schedules, likes, and even hobbies.
And let's not forget about backup accounts. A predator might start by contacting a teen via a YouTube channel or comment section. Then they move to Discord, TikTok, Snapchat, or Roblox under a different username. Suddenly, the teen thinks that they're interacting with a friend, a fan, or a harmless stranger, but it's the same manipulative individual behind multiple accounts.
Even cloud storage contributes to this illusion. Teens upload videos, images, and screenshots thinking they're private, but links can leave, servers can be hacked, and content can be shared without consent. It doesn't matter if it's a personal video on YouTube or a click shared in a Roblox server. Once it's online, it can travel.
And here's a big one, sextortion cases. Teens think sending something privately is safe because it's just between us or temporary, but predators combine disappearing messages with screenshots or screen recordings. Then they threaten exposure across platforms: YouTube, Discord, Snapchat, Roblox, even TikTok.
Even public engagement can backfire. Liking a video, commenting on a post, or joining a fan server might feel harmless, but it leaves breadcrumbs for predators to follow. They see who's active, who engages, who's responsive, and they target accordingly.
So, the illusion isn't just a myth, it's a systematic design. YouTube, Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, all these platforms encourage interaction, social engagement, and sharing. That's what makes them fun and what predators exploit.
Predators don't need to hack your account. They don't need special tools, they just need access to public interactions, temporary messages, and platforms that connect to each other. And YouTube is a hub, the starting point where they can branch out to Discord servers, Roblox groups, TikTok followers, and Snapchat streaks.
Even if teens think they're being careful, they can underestimate the reach of a single interaction. One comment can lead to a DM, one DM can lead to Discord invite, one invite can lead to Roblox private server, one server can lead to a Snapchat streak chain.
The illusion of privacy is what makes grooming effective. Teens feel safe, predators feel confident, and the overlap between platforms YouTube, Roblox, Discord, TikTok, Snapchat makes it almost invisible until it's too late.
So, how do we break the illusion? Awareness. Understanding the flow of information, recognizing that a private chat isn't truly private if it's shared, recorded, or followed across platforms. Episode 5 on Roblox taught us that a private server can become a predator's playground. YouTube acts as the gateway. Discord and TikTok act as private corridors. Snapchat and Roblox amplify the isolation.
It's not about paranoia, it's about being conscious of how easily privacy can be breached. If you understand the system, you can act proactively, limiting access, pause before sharing, verify identities, and keep evidence if needed.
So, the illusion of privacy isn't just a warning, it's a roadmap for teens to see where risks hide in multiple platforms. YouTube, Discord, Roblox, TikTok, Snapchat, and the others can interconnect in ways that predators exploit.
Next, we'll dive into how grooming starts on YouTube and beyond. The step-by-step process of how predators move from a simple comment to cross-platform manipulation, and what teens can do it to stop it early.
How grooming starts on YouTube and beyond.
Alright, now that we understood the illusion of privacy, let's talk about how grooming actually begins. It's really sudden. Predators use a series of steps that feel natural and friendly to teens. And YouTube? It's often the first touch point.
It can start as something as simple as a comment on a video. Maybe a teen posts a clip from Roblox or Valorant gameplay, and someone replies seemingly positively, "Hey, I love your setup." That initial compliment feels harmless, even flattering, but it's the first thread in a web.
From there, it often moves to private messages. On YouTube, this could be a channel DM or a suggestion to move to Discord for better chat. Discord becomes a secondary layer, private, more controlled, harder for parents or moderators to monitor. Episode 5 on Roblox taught us something similar. Private servers create a space where trust could be manipulated.
Filters, emojis, memes, shared screenshots. All of these tools are small social gestures that feel playful, but predators use them strategies. They mirror what teens enjoy, create inside jokes, and slowly build emotional connection. Once a teen starts feeling understood or seen, they're more likely to comply with small requests.
Small asks are the next step. Send me a clip of your Roblox build, share your TikTok handle, or can I join your Snapchat streak? Each request seems innocent, but collectively, they create a profile that predators can use for leverage.
And let's not forget about the daily engagement pattern. Streaks, subscriptions, likes, and responses encourage consistency interactions. On YouTube, it's commenting daily on videos. On Discord, it's participating in servers. On Roblox or Valorant, it's the daily play. These small habits reinforce trust and normalize constant connection.
Then comes secrecy. Predators often say, "Don't tell anyone, it's our secret," or "Other friends wouldn't understand." It's subtle but effective. Teens often comply because the connection feels personal and validating. By this point, grooming has crossed platforms. A YouTube comment led to a Discord DM, which led to Roblox private servers, maybe even Snapchat streaks.
Sometimes they escalate to peer manipulation. Maybe another teen is encouraged to participate, or a fake friend account is added on TikTok or Valorant. Now the teen feels surrounded by approval, and the predator can push boundaries without the target realizing.
It's all about layering tactics, complement, shared interest, daily engagement, and secrecy. These are the building blocks of grooming. Each platform reinforces the other. YouTube introduces the content, Discord provides privacy, Roblox and Valorant adds interactive engagement, Snapchat or TikTok strengthens emotional bonds.
Predators often move seamlessly across platforms, and exploiting what we've covered in the past episodes, Roblox private servers, Snapchat's disappearing messages, TikTok DMs, Valorant voice chat, Discord group chats, they create a network where teens feel social, safe, and normal, and all while being manipulated.
and is rarely sexual immediately. Often starts with friendship, shared hobbies, compliments, and mutual interests. By the time a teen realizes something is off, the predator has already built trust and emotional leverage across multiple platforms.
Which is why understanding the patterns matter more than the platform alone. Episode 5 showed us how Roblox servers were used to isolate and groom. YouTube, combined with Discord and other social platforms, is just the modern evolution of the same tactics.
That's also why teens need to pause before sharing. Keep communication visible to trusted friends and know the signs: small asks, secrecy, platform hopping, consistent daily engagement, and pressure to respond.
So, in summary, the step 1 includes innocent engagement on YouTube, comments, likes, subscriptions. Then comes private messaging, often moving to Discord or TikTok. Of course, in step 3, we have emotional connection built with compliments, shared interests, or filters. Step 4 is small acts, Roblox builds, Snapchat streaks, and Valorant invites. Step 5, secrecy and isolation. The predator frames its personal or exclusive. Lastly, cross-platform leverage. All the interactions now form a web that the teen may not see.
By seeing grooming as multi-platform process, teens can identify risk earlier. YouTube may feel like the starting point, a place for video and community, but predators are already thinking several steps ahead, linking it to Discord, Roblox, TikTok, Snapchat, and Valorant.
Next, we'll dive into patterns of predation on YouTube and connected platforms, breaking down the psychological and behavioral tactics predators use, so you can spot them before it's too late. Patterns of predation on YouTube and connected platforms. Alright, now that I've seen how grooming begins, let's break down the patterns of predation across YouTube and its connected platforms: Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, and even Valorant. Predators don't just operate in isolation, they use a multi-platform approach to manipulate, isolate, and control targets.
It usually starts with small asks, nothing alarming at first. Can you share your Roblox avatar? Send me your TikTok handle. Add me on Discord so we can talk more. Each request seems harmless on its own, but layered over days or weeks, these tiny asks build a profile the predator can exploit.
Next is platform hopping. The predator might comment on a YouTube video, then move the conversation to Discord for private messaging. Once trust is built there, they could suggest joining a private Roblox server, continue streaks on Snapchat, or even exchange messages on TikTok. Each platform reinforces the connection while increasing privacy and control.
Isolation is another tactic. Predators often frame secrecy as intimacy. This stays just between us. They exploit teens' desire for closeness, making them feel special while cutting them off from trusted friends or family. Across platforms, isolation becomes easier, disappearing messages on Snapchat, private Discord servers, or hidden Roblox lobbies.
Urgency is also used. Predators create pressure with lines like, "You need to reply now or I'll be upset." Fast response, time limit reflection, advice seeking, or intervention. On YouTube, this might be a comment like, "Check your DM fast," moving the conversation to Discord, where the pressure escalates.
Guilt is another tool. Predators subtly manipulate emotions. "I trusted you, why won't you send it?" "Other friends don't understand me like you do." Teens often comply because they want to maintain the perceived relationship.
Control tactics are layered all over these. Monitoring interactions, collecting personal information, using screenshots, or cross-referencing across platforms. One teen's Roblox username might reveal their Discord profile. Their YouTube activity might show interests or vulnerabilities. Predators are often patient, strategic, and methodical.
It's also important to note patterns escalate slowly. At first, it's compliments or shared interests. Then it's small asks, secret conversations, and multiple platforms. Before the teen realizes it, they are emotionally invested, isolated, and more likely to comply with larger requests.
These patterns are the reasons predators prefer multi-platform approaches. YouTube provides a public introduction, Discord allows private chat, Roblox or Valorant adds interactive engagement, Snapchat maintains streaks and disappearing content, and TikTok keeps teens hooked with trends and viral challenges.
By recognizing these repeating patterns, small as platform hopping, isolation, urgency, guilt, and in control tactics, teens can be better identify risk behaviors early. The signs are subtle, but once you know them, you can see how predators connect platforms to manipulate effectively.
Next, we'll move into the laws and your rights for YouTube and connected platforms. The section I break down who is targeted, what happens, when it happens, where it happens, and why predators do it. It's a structured way to understand risk and protect yourself.
The law and your rights.
Now that we have talked about patterns and what to do if it's happening, it's time to get serious. Predation online isn't just morally wrong, it's illegal, and the law is on your sites across every platform. YouTube, Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, and even Facebook.
Let's start with online luring laws. In Canada, Section 172.1 of the Criminal Code prohibits communicating with a child to facilitate sexual activity. It doesn't matter if the interaction starts on a YouTube comment, a Discord DM, a Roblox private server, or a Snapchat story. The law applies.
Next, sextortion laws. Section 346 of the Criminal Code deals with threats and extortion. If someone is threatening to share intimate images of you across platforms, maybe a YouTube DM screenshot, a Roblox chat log, or a TikTok video, that's illegal. No matter what platform it's on, it's considered extortion.
Non-consensual images sharing is covered under Section 162.1. This includes screenshots, recorded clips, or any intimate content shared without consent. So if a predator saves a disappearing Snapchat image or records a private Discord video call without your knowledge, that's against the law as well.
And let's talk about criminal harassment and threats. Sections 264 and 264.1, persistent messaging, stalking through multiple platforms, or following you from YouTube to Discord, Roblox, TikTok, or Snapchat can qualify as harassment. Legal action can be taken even if no physical contact occurs.
There is also child sexual abuse material. Section 163.1. Any creation, possession, or sharing of sexualized content involving minors is a serious criminal offense. If someone tries to coerce you into creating or sharing content across YouTube, Roblox, Discord, TikTok, or other apps, that's illegal and actionable.
It's not just about the criminal code. Most platforms have their own policies and reporting systems. YouTube's community guidelines strictly prohibit sexual predation, harassment, and exploitation. Discord has trust and safety teams for reporting predatory DMs or servers. Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, and Twitch all have reporting mechanisms designed to protect users. Knowing how to use these systems is part of your legal and digital rights.
For example, if you see a predator moving from YouTube comments to Discord DMs, report both. Block the accounts. After taking screenshots and evidence, save evidence. The law protects you, and the platforms provide tools to enforce safety.
In British Columbia, there's Victimline BC, needhelpnow.ca, and Cybertip.ca, confidential resources to guide you through legal reporting and support. These resources are vital if you're targeted across multiple platforms.
And remember, knowing your rights doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you prepared, aware, and empowered. Our predators relies on ignorance and secrecy. But if you know the law, the policies, and your support options, you remove that advantage.
And just like in episode 5 with Roblox, legal frameworks exist not to punish predators, but to protect you and your community. That means your digital safety is not just personal, it's enforceable.
So whether a situation starts on YouTube, moves to Discord, escalates in Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, or even Facebook or Omegle, the law has your back. You don't have to handle it alone.
The next step, after understanding your rights, is staying safe and preventing predation in the first place. That's what we'll cover in our final segment: concrete strategies, platform-specific tips, and ways to keep control over your online world.
Staying safe on YouTube and connected platforms.
Now that we have covered the law, it's time to get proactive. Staying safe online isn't just about reacting, it's about prevention. YouTube is the starting point, but predators often move across Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, and Facebook. Awareness and strategies across all these platforms are key.
Let's start with privacy settings. On YouTube, that means controlling who can comment on your videos, who can message you, and whether your content is public or unlisted. On Discord, it's about server settings, friend requests, and DM permissions. Roblox? Only accept friend requests from people you know in real life, and limit private server access. On Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram, check who sees your stories and turn off location sharing.
Next, think about who can message you. Don't leave DMs open to strangers. On YouTube, avoid direct messaging creators you don't know. Discord allows you to adjust friend requests, settings, and block incoming messages from non-friends. Roblox and Valorant also have private messaging and party chats. Keep them restricted to people you trust.
Story and content visibility matters too. On TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, private accounts are your best friend. Limit public exposure. Even on YouTube, hiding comments on older videos or monitoring live chats can prevent predators from finding vulnerabilities.
Location sharing is another big one. Snapchat Snap Map, TikTok livestream, Discord statuses, and Roblox, or at least patterns in your activity. Always keep location features off unless you fully trust the people you're sharing with.
And then there's the stranger danger outline. The simplest, most often forgotten rule. Just because someone comments on your YouTube video, joins your Roblox server, or adds you on Discord doesn't mean they're a friend. Check motives, look for red flags, and never feel pressured to engage in private chats or challenges.
Let's break it down by platform a little more. YouTube. Limit comments, use moderation tools, avoid sharing personal info in video descriptions or live chats. Discord. Disable DMs from non-friends, check server rules, and avoid unknown servers. Roblox. Restrict who can join your private servers. Don't share personal details in chat and report any suspicious activity. Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. Close friends only for sensitive content. Turn off Snap Map. Be careful with streaks. Twitch and Valorant. Voice chat can be risky. Mute or block unknown users. Don't share personal information during streams or games. Facebook's and Omegle. Limit friend requests and avoid public chats with strangers.
Pause before sharing is the mantra. Screenshots, video clips, and DMs can all be used to manipulate or coerce you. If something feels off, step back and take a breath and seek advice. Even a small action like confirming with a friend can prevent escalation.
Remember, consistency across platforms is key. A predator might start on YouTube, move to Discord, then Roblox, and finally Snapchat or TikTok. Keeping safety habits consistent, privacy settings, friend restrictions, and awareness makes it harder for them to isolate you or gain leverage.
Document, don't ignore. If someone is acting suspiciously, take screenshots or save chat logs in a safe location. On disappearing platforms like Snapchat, this is especially important if legal action or reporting is needed. You'll have evidence ready.
Get support early. Talk to a trusted friend, sibling, or adult. Resources like Cybertip.ca, needhelpnow.ca, and victimlinks.bc are confidential and available 24/7. Don't wait until it escalates. Early disclosure can stop predators in their tracks.
And finally, keep your life bigger than one chat. Engage in hobbies, spend time offline, nurture friendships outside of apps. Don't let a single person, platform, or streak become your entire world. Episode 5 Roblox and Episode 6 Snapchat both showed up how isolation makes teens more vulnerable. The lesson holds across YouTube and every connected platform.
The principle is simple. Control access, protect your information, recognize patterns, and seek support. These aren't just tips, they're tools for survival in a multi-platform digital world.
And don't forget, platforms have reporting tools. YouTube has content reporting and blocks users. Discord and Roblox both have trust and safety team. Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, and Valorant all have the same reporting features. Know how to use them before you need them.
So, staying safe is proactive, consistent, and multi-layered. Awareness and prevention, legal understanding, and support all work together to protect teens online.
Next, we'll close with a reflection section, discussing why awareness matters and why silence protects predators, and why speaking up across platforms can save lives.
Wait, before we end everything off, of course, I want to wrap it up with an interview with Howard. And yeah, so a disclaimer before we start. Everything said is based on Howard's expertise and real-world events, and facts may differ. Our first question is, some of the questions might be answered during your PowerPoint, but we're just going to restate them so it can be reset. So, studies show that a large portion of online grooming and child sexual offenses begin through social media, with chat rooms and instant messaging being a major entry point. What are messaging features and social spaces often where harmful contact begins, and what platforms can do to interrupt this before it escalates?
So, as I just presented before, most of the online predation are having either online chat rooms or private messaging apps. So most of the conversation will start by the predators lie about their age. They'll pretend to be young people, like a teenager, pretend to be into your music, your sports team, your games, and they make the teenagers feel like nobody else care about them, but they do. So they will approach the teenagers and get their attention, and have a lot more online chats to get more personal. So there are some flags I just mentioned, red flags to watch for, like excessive compliments or flattery, or offering gifts, or offering gaming currencies, stuff like that, to get close to the victim and to get their trust. And then once they gain the trust, their conversation can get very personal. They will test boundaries, maybe bring up sexual topics to see how the teenagers react. And they would use those kind of conversations to push boundaries even more. Okay, and then eventually they will maintain control of their victim. They will ask them to share some intimate images and use those images to blackmail them. So that's kind of a process online predators to use to target the victims. But they don't immediately reach out and ask for sexual images. They're much more calculated than that. So social media platforms are actually more and more accountable for this kind of stuff. There's a lot of legislative reforms going on outside of Canada that's been targeting this kind of social media platforms to hold them more accountable, to discover this kind of behavior or images early on, and to prevent this kind of crimes. And there's also a proposal in Canada. There's a proposed legislation, which is the Bill C-16, the Protecting Victims Act, and also the Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act. That was proposed in February 2024. So the Online Harms Act is actually a new law that is focusing on making sure the major social media platforms are accountable for this kind of crimes, for online predation, for sex extortion, right? So in the new law, in the new Bill C-63, there are features like a duty of care imposed on major social media platforms. The social media platforms have to be actively working to prevent harm to the teenagers, to youth. There has to be a mandatory child-focused safety measures taken by those platforms, and they also have to remove any, child porn content, very in a very efficient way. They wanted to. This bill is going to hold the social media platforms more accountable for what's happening in online predation space. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. So, international reports show that over 1/3 of young people experience cyberbullying, and some have even skipped school because of online harassment. What patterns do you see in how cyberbullying shows up across platforms like Discord, Roblox, TikTok, and Snapchat? And how does it affect youth mental health?
So, this is actually becoming a pretty serious problem in Canada. not only in the US or in Asia. We just talked about some numbers, right? So there are over 88% increase in online extortion reports between 2022 and 2023. And there are over 5,000 reports of extortion between 2022 and 2024 on Cybertip.ca. So it's a pretty serious concerning trend that's going on. And cyberbullying, online predation, and online harassment actually have a very strong negative impact on people's life, on teenagers' life. So remember we just talked about the Amanda case? So in the Amanda case, Amanda Todd, she was basically targeted by a Dutch predator when she was in grade 7. She was on a video chat site when someone convinced her to expose herself. And then the predator took a screenshot and used it to blackmail her for years. So that person, created a Facebook page using her photo as a profile picture and sent it to her friends, family, classmates. So that had a huge impact on Amanda. And they even moved multiple times to trying to escape that impact. But it had a huge impact on her. She was distressed. She was mentally distressed, started to use drugs or alcohol, and then even attempted suicide a couple of times. And eventually, she killed herself after she posted a YouTube video using flashcards to help tell her story. So she's just one of the victims of online predation, right? So this case just shows how serious the negative impact could be if someone was subjected to this kind of harm.
Thank you so much. I have another question for you. From a legal perspective, how is online grooming defined, and how does it differ from other online crimes?
So there's not a specific online grooming crime in Canada. Online predation or online grooming is defined by a number of crimes. Let me just go over those crimes again. So the first and foremost crime, as defined in the Criminal Code, Section 172.1, is called child luring. Okay, so this is a crime that talks about it's illegal to communicate with someone under the age of 18 or someone you think is under the age of 18 using the internet or the phones with sexual intent. So the feature of this crime is that the offense is complete once the communication is complete. There's no requirement for actual meeting with the victim. And there is also no requirement for even the intent to meet. So, and any predators cannot escape this crime by claiming, I thought they were adult. I thought they were over the age of 18. So the penalty of this crime is very serious. It's maximum 14 years in prison, with a mandatory minimum of 1 year in prison for indictable offenses or 6 months for summary convictions. So remember, we talked about this other case, Canadian case, that exactly defined child luring. In Section 172, there's a clear definition of this crime, but there's also another important case to look at. It's a 2009 Lagarde case, where the Supreme Court clearly defined that there's no need for the intent to meet the victim to be guilty of child luring. Just the communication, the sexual communication with the teenagers under 18 is enough to hold the offenders accountable. So that's the most important crime in Canada regarding online predation. It's called child luring under Section 172. There are also a number of other crimes that's related to online predation. There's a crime called sextortion. Basically, that's under extortion in Section 346 of Criminal Code. It's the crime where people use threats, often threatening to release intimate images to force their victim to do something against their will, like sending more intimate images or money. There are recent legal reforms to basically propose to use this sextortion as an aggravating factor to have harsher sentences on other crimes. But it's an offense by itself. Okay, and then there's also criminal harassment under Section 264 of the Criminal Code that applies to repeated online conduct that makes someone fear for their safety. Stuff like cyber stalking, persistent unwanted contact, severe cyberbullying, all of that relates to online predation. There's also another crime that's called non-consensual distribution of intimate image under Section 162 of the Criminal Code. It's illegal to share intimate images or video without consent, even when there's no threat. There's also another crime, basically possession of child porn or possession of child porn for the purpose of distribution or selling it. It's under Section 163 of the Criminal Code. It basically criminalizes possession, production, distribution, and even just accessing child sexual abuse material. And then lastly, there is a crime that's called sexual exploitation under Section 153 of the Criminal Code. So this this offense actually applies to the protection of 16 to 17-year-old who legally cannot consent when their partner is in a position of trust, authority, or dependency, like teachers, coaches, employers, family, friends. This crime basically protects teenagers from being taken advantage of by those trusted partners. And the maximum penalty for this crime is 14 years in prison. So those are the list of crimes that's related to grooming or online predation. It's a list of crimes, not a single offense that is holding people accountable. The offenders can be convicted of multiple crimes, like I talked about in the Amanda case. The offender eventually was found guilty of 5 offenses. He was found guilty of sextortion, child luring, criminal harassment, possession of child porn for distribution, and possession of child porn. All right.
Thank you. So, statistics suggest that over 70% of children under age 13 are using social platforms despite age restrictions, and many encounter harmful content. Why do age gates and platform policies often fail to prevent underage use, and what can platforms do better?
So, technology can sometimes make a situation worse, right? Social media apps can keep people stuck in situations where someone keeps bothering or hunting you. This is what we call digital entrapment. With the technology advancement like today, most people are actually living their day-to-day life with social media apps, or some of them cannot even get off the hook. And some of the platforms are not very responsible, and they let harmful content spread very, very fast. And sometimes even when the images are deleted, it circulates back because they were stored on servers overseas, not in Canada. Even if you have it deleted in Canada, it may even come back from other servers outside of Canada. So new technologies like AI deepfake can also be used to create fake images or videos of sexual content without even the victim exposing themselves. So this is making the life very hard for teenagers online, because on one hand, the pressure from friends or fears of being isolated can make it very hard for them to stop using social media, right? They cannot stop using social media completely. But on the other hand, if they stay on social media, and they will keep on getting people that's bothering them or harassing them or going after them for online predation or grooming. So it's a very challenging situation for teenagers. So that's why we're in Canada, we're making new laws to hold the social media platforms more accountable, to make sure that they prevent this kind of stuff happening and prevent the harmful impact on teenagers online. But as I just mentioned, there's a proposed Bill C-63 that hold the social media accountable, as they impose the duty of care to the major social media platforms to actively work to prevent harm. And also, they ask them to basically monitor such kind of behavior online. And they also require the platforms to have a very clear, accessible ways to flag harmful content and harmful users, to block harmful users. And they also made it mandatory that social media platforms have to have some, use-focused safety measures in their platform to make sure this kind of crimes does not happen on their platform. So all of that is trying to hold the social media platforms more accountable and prevent harm before it actually happens.
So the next question is, what Canadian laws or general criminal laws are most often used to prosecute online predation cases?
Okay, so as we just mentioned, it's a number of offenses in the Canadian criminal law that's most relevant to online predation. The most relevant one is child luring under Section 172.1 of criminal law. Basically, it's illegal to communicate with someone under 18 using the internet or phones with sexual intent. Okay, and this offense does not require any intent to actually meet the victim. Just the sexual communication with the teenagers under 18 is enough to hold the offenders accountable. And then there's also another criminal offense, criminal harassment under Section 264 that applies to a repeated online conducts that make someone fear for their safety. Another kind of crime that's often used in pressing charges against online predators is a sextortion under Section 346, basically making it illegal to use threats. Often the threats are to release intimate images to force their victims to do something against their will, like sending more images or pay money. Another common offense that's used to charge the offenders are possession of child porn, or possession of child porn for the purpose of distribution or selling, as under Section 163.1. And then one of the more and more emergent offenses, actually the latest criminal code update made the sentence for this crime harsher, which is this crime is called non-consensual distribution of intimate images under Section 162. This crime is becoming more important because numbers shows that the number of crimes, number of incidents for this crime are increasing, and 97% of the victims were young people aged between 12 to 17, and most of the victims knew their perpetrators. So these are current or former dating partners or casual acquaintances or friends. So this is becoming more and more serious in the Canadian Criminal Code for this kind of crime. And lastly, there's a crime that's used to press charges against the people in the position of trust. So this is a sexual exploitation crime offense, which is under Section 153 of the Criminal Code. That applies to people who are in a position of trust or authority or dependency. So it's basically designed to protect teenagers from family friends, protecting the teenagers from these people so that they cannot exploit them, sexually exploit them. Okay, so those are the typical criminal offenses that's been used to charge the online predators.
Okay, so my question's gonna be I think we talked a little bit about what legal consequences can online predators face. So why do you think some cases never make it to court or never get, I guess, reported?
So remember we talked about in the beginning of my presentation that the most important thing for online predation is to report it, to stop engagement and report it right away, right? So many times, if you report it immediately and if you just make sure all the evidences are captured, right, the screenshots or messages, and if you report to that Cybertip.ca website or hotline right away, those reports are treated very seriously. So that can stop if you or someone that's been targeted for online predation. One of the most important thing is to stop engagement and report it right away. And and those reports are handled very seriously, and they're forwarded to at least our CNP right away. So sometimes people don't report it just because they feel that it's their own fault, right? Because most of the online predators, they don't stop. They don't reach out right away and ask for sexual stuff. They actually started as a friend. They started building trust, and they even lie about their age, right? They post themselves as a teenager themselves, and then they started to ask for more intimate stuff. So many of the victims feel like it's their own fault, right? And the predators would also say, well, why do you share your own intimate image voluntarily, right? I didn't push you or force you to do it. Many times, the initial sharing of the intimate image was voluntary, was not being threatened. It's only after after the victim have shared the initial intimate images, then the predators will use that against their will. It will use that to blackmail them, threaten them to send more intimate images, so that they wouldn't share those intimate images online or with their friends or family. So sometimes the victims will blame themselves. They will think, well, the initial sharing of the intimate image was voluntary. I did it by myself, so it's all because of myself. But it's very important to tell everybody that it is not the victim's fault, okay? As we just talked about, there's a process. There's a very calculated process or tactics the online predators use throughout the process of online predation. So the victims were targeted, and the predators will go through a 4-step approach to make sure they can get full control of the victim. So, and they will also make the victim feel that it's their own fault, right? So we need to educate everybody and make sure they understand it's not their own fault. They are just being targeted. They have been subject to an online predator, and they use very calculated process and approach to target them and to get intimate images from. So that's another important thing we have to do. We have to educate everybody so that they know it's not their fault, and they should not be ashamed of what happened, and they should stop engagement with the online predator, and they should report everything very immediately to either 911 or Cybertip.ca, so that the matter can be handled very efficiently by the local police or LCNP.
So, what kinds of digital evidence, such as messages, screenshots, or IP data, are most important in online predation cases?
Everything. So if you or someone you know that's been targeted, you spot an issue, you see a red flag, like I just mentioned, right? There are a number of red flags that would trigger you to think there's online predation going on. Stop talking to the predator right away, but don't delete anything. So anything is important as evidence. Get usernames, profiles, messages, images, timestamps, URLs, all of it. So any digital trace is an important piece of evidence, because those are very serious criminal offenses, right? We just talked about like 4 or 5 criminal offenses that is holding people accountable for this kind of crimes. Therefore, in the court proceedings, we need evidence, every evidence that you can possibly get. So just make sure you don't delete anything. Capture everything as evidence and submit it when you're recording this crime.
The next question I would ask is, why is it critical that you do not delete messages or accounts if something unsafe is happening?
So it's important for 2 reasons. Okay, as we talk about, one of the first reasons that's important that you don't delete messages is that it's actually a red flag, right? When someone is talking to you and they ask you to delete messages right after your conversation, chat messages after conversation, that's one of the tricks or one of the tactics online predators use when they're doing online grooming. Remember, it talks about multiple steps, right? And one of the steps they're taking is to isolate you, right? They're first trying to build your trust, their trust with you, and then they're trying to isolate you. And they'll always insist on keeping it secret, keeping the conversation secret. It's like stuff like don't tell your parents, delete messages so your parents or friends won't see it. They wouldn't understand. I care about you more than they do, right? So they're trying to isolate the victim from the friends and families, and they insist on keeping their conversation secret. So once you see that as a red flag, you should stop engagement with a predator, right? If someone from online chat room is asking you to delete a chat history with you, that's a red flag right there. And you should not delete the chat history and you should stop talking to them and block them and report it. So that's one of the first reasons that you should not delete a chat history, because that's, when someone is asking you to delete the chat history, it's actually a red flag. It's actually part of the tactics of online grooming. The second reason is that you want to keep everything that you possibly can as evidence. Because if this eventually go to court, if this predator is actually arrested and charged, to prosecute him with the crime we just talked about, any evidence you can provide would be an important aspect to hold that offender accountable. So, like I said, keep everything, not only chat history, but get usernames, profile, messages, images, timestamp, everything.
Thank you so much. And my next question for you would be, do you think that current laws do not hold enough platforms accountable for protecting minors? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think our current law is quite lenient on social media platforms, but we're getting better at it. Today, the social media platforms are not very accountable for what's going on, right? So that's why we put in the proposed Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act, which was proposed in February 2024. We need to make sure the social media platforms have a clear duty of care to prevent harm to the teenagers to use. Currently, we have some measures to hold the social media platforms accountable, but there may be other things we can do to hold them more accountable, more preventional measures, right? So now I think we have some liabilities for the social media platforms to delete sexual content for people underage. We also have stuff like social media platforms should be able to keep user history for a certain time to make sure that they can produce evidence for online predation kind of crimes. But they can do more. So that's why we're making legal reforms, new laws to hold these social media platforms more accountable. And they should basically be more preventive. They should prevent these kind of offenses from happening before the harm actually occurred, right? The Bill 63 is the right move. It actually have clearly categorized harmful content, as the law never did before. So content that sexually victimizes a child or induce a child to harm themselves, or content that was used to bully a child or youth. So all of those are clearly defined as harmful content categories in the Act, in the Bill 63, to make sure that social media platforms treat this kind of harmful content very, very seriously. So there's also other approaches taken that require platforms to provide clear and accessible ways to flag this kind of content and block harmful users, right? So I believe the social media platforms can definitely do more, even though they're somewhat accountable for this kind of stuff, but they can do more. And we have laws in play in the process to hold them more accountable.
Thank you. If a young person is afraid of getting in trouble, what does the law actually say about coming forward?
So first and foremost, is that everybody should understand it's not their fault. Okay, in this kind of scenario in online predation, it's never the fault of the victim. The victim have no fault. Okay, they have been targeted. So a young person should do a couple of things if they sense online predation is going on. If you or someone you know has been targeted, you feel like there's strong signals of grooming or online predation, they should stop talking to the predator right away, and they should screenshot everything. They should keep all the evidence, and they should report right away. And they should come forward because it's very easy to report this kind of crimes, right? We just talked about one of the major platforms in Canada for reporting online predation for youth is Cybertip.ca. So report to Cybertip.ca if you see anything that's kind of look like online child luring, sextortion, or non-consensual sharing of intimate images, or child sexual abuse material that's been possessed or distributed, or any situation where you think a youth may be exploited online. So any kind of stuff as I described should be reported to Cybertips.ca. You can report them online on their website or call 1-866-658-9022, 1-866-658-9022, and you can report without naming yourself, right? So you can report an incident by keeping yourself anonymous. You can report an incident about yourself, or report an incident about your friend, someone you know. And so it's very easy to report this kind of stuff. It's very easy to come forward. You can even report it without naming yourself. And the Cybertips.ca, they treat this kind of report very seriously. They forward them to police, RCMP right away, so that the predators can be held accountable and can be stopped right away.
Okay, the next question is, what is one legal misconception teens often have about online interactions that could put them at risk?
There are a couple of risks, a couple of misconceptions, right? So first misconception is that some teenagers think that it's only a problem if someone they have come across online that's asking for very intimate stuff. They only get alarmed when that's happening. So as I mentioned before, as I discussed before, the online predators, they actually don't randomly reach out and right away ask for sexual images from teenagers. They're much more calculated than that. So in the grooming process, there are a number of steps they take before they actually start to ask for intimate images from teenagers, right? So they start to build trust, and they start to isolate the teenager from their friends and families, and they start to build emotional dependencies. So one of the misconceptions among teenagers about online predation is that they think only the step when the predator is asking for sexual images or intimate images from them is online predation. It's actually not. The process started long before that. Okay, so we talked about a couple of warning signals of grooming, right? So there's a number of warning signals before actually they start to ask for intimate images. That should trigger the teenagers to think this is online predation, right? So be careful about excessive praises, excessive compliments like "you're really pretty," "you're so mature for your age," stuff like that, and flattery. And also be careful about online people you come across online offering gifts, gaming currencies, and then also be careful about any request to delete the chat history or to keep the conversation secret. Right? So those are all red flags for online predation. It's not people sometimes think when the online predators is starting to request for intimate images, starting to emotionally abuse them, or started to get very personal with them as online predation. It's not only that. So we talked about a couple of warning signals before that. That's a part of the online grooming process. So that's one misconception. Another misconception is that a lot of the people think online predation require the actual harm. You'll find the actual harm to hold the offenders accountable, right? So we just talked about child rearing, defined under Section 1672 of the Criminal Code. That crime was SEC, the Supreme Court of Canada, actually have already defined that crime as only as long as the sexual communication with minor happens, there's no requirement of intent to meet. So there's even no physical meeting required. It could be no harm at all. It could be no intended meeting, no intended physical meeting, as long as there is sexual intent in the communication with the minor, that offense is actually completed. So that's another misconception. There's also a misconception about unconsented intimate image sharing, right? So for that kind of crime, we just talked about a case where a high school teacher was filming young female students in public in the school area. So, and they claim that they are not accountable because they're filming them in public. They're not breaching their privacy. But any kind of surrounding factors in that case demonstrate that the court can hold offenders accountable for non-consensual distribution of intimate images, even in public area, right? Even in public space, as long as those images were taken with a sexual purpose and with the purpose of breaching the privacy of the inflicted, right? So those are a number of misconceptions about the crimes I just talked about that most people think there are some kind of behavior does not qualify for that kind of crime. And actually, as we see the definition from Supreme Court of Canada, the court is actually interpreting those crimes very broadly to make sure they offer very strong protection for youth in this kind of online predation scenarios.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Howard, so much for letting us interview you. I guess, yeah, we'll keep in touch, but yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
Closing reflection.
We have spent this episode diving deep into YouTube, the videos, the live tests, the comments, and more importantly, how it connects to other platforms like Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, and Facebook.
And what we've seen is clear. Predators don't limit themselves to one app. They follow patterns. They move where teens are active, and they use the features of each platform to isolate, manipulate, and control. Episode 5 on Roblox showed us how easily predators can gain trust in a playful environment. Snapchat Episode 6 reminded us that disappearing messages and private streaks create a false sense of security. YouTube is the next evolution. Longer form content, live streams, and community interaction. But the risks remain.
Awareness is everything. Silence protects predators. If no one talks about what's happening, if no one intervenes, manipulation goes unchecked. Each platform we've discussed has its own interface, but the methods are alarmingly similar. That's why knowing the patterns matter.
Speaking of safe people, it doesn't matter if it's a comment on a YouTube video or a message on Discord, a snap with Snapchat or a friend request on Roblox. Early disclosure to a trusted adult or friend, a support line like Cybertip.ca or needhelpnow.ca can stop harm before it escalates. Every platform has reporting tools. Every teen has the right to protect themselves.
Remember, you're not alone. Teens everywhere are navigating these spaces. Platforms evolve, apps changes features, trends rise and fall, but the lesson remains consistent. Privacy, skepticism, boundaries, and support all your allies.
And let's bring it back full circle. This episode connects YouTube to everything we explored before. It shows that while platforms are different, predators often use the same strategies. Recognizing them early across all platforms and apps is what keeps you safe.
We've discussed patterns, the illusion of privacy, grooming, manipulation, legal protections, prevention, and support. But the final, most important lesson is this: your voice matters. Speaking up, setting boundaries, documenting concerns, and seeking help isn't overreacting. It's staying alive digitally and emotionally.
So the next time you post a video, join a server, or reply to a comment, remember, awareness is your shield. Platforms are tools, and tools can be used for good or harm. You choose how to navigate them safely.
We make these lessons actionable, but they're not only effective if applied. Protect yourself, protect your friends, and remember, predators thrive in secrecy, but collective vigilance is powerful.
So today, as we close this episode, let's take a moment to reflect. The online world is vast, complex, and dynamic. Platforms like YouTube, Discord, and Roblox, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Valorant, Facebook, and Omegle are part of our lives. But safety, awareness, and connection, those are constant.
This is Caught in the Web. This episode was made possible by the dedication of our team. Thank you for listening, for staying aware, and for helping create a safer online world. We'll see you in the next episode.